I'm 23, female. It was past midnight on a Thursday around 1 a.m., and I just left a dive bar near my apartment where I've been hanging out with friends. I don't usually stay out that late, but it was my buddy's birthday, and we were having a good time, so I lost track. I didn't want to pay for an Uber, and the walk's only like 15 minutes, so I figured I'd just hoof it home. The streets around my neighborhood ain't exactly Mayberry. Lots of boarded-up shops, sketchy alleys, and streetlights that flicker like they're about to die. But I've done the walk a million times, usually without a hitch. I had my earbuds in, listening to some lo-fi to keep me calm, and my phone in one hand, keys in the other, because my older sisters always drilled it into me to be ready for anything. I'm maybe 5 minutes from the bar, cutting through this quiet stretch near a closed-down auto shop, when I noticed this guy behind me. He's maybe 30 feet back, walking the same direction, hands shoved deep in the pockets of this ratty old coat. He's tall, kinda hunched, with a hood up so I can't see his face. At first, I'm like, whatever, just some dude heading somewhere. But something about his vibe sets off alarms in my head. He's walking too steady, too focused, like he's matching my pace. I pull out one earbud just to hear better and speed up a little, hoping he'll fall back. But he doesn't. If anything, he speeds up too, closing the gap to maybe 20 feet. My heart's starting to race, but I'm telling myself not to panic because maybe I'm just being paranoid. I cross the street, thinking that'll shake him, but nope, he crosses too, still trailing me. Now I'm getting that sick feeling in my gut, like this ain't a coincidence. I glance back and he's got his head tilted, like he's watching me hard, and I catch a glimpse of his eyes under the hood. They're sharp, too sharp, like he's locked onto me and nothing else. I'm still a good 10 minutes from home, and the street's dead. No cars, no other people, just me and this creep. I decide to test him, so I stop, pretend to tie my shoe, crouching down by a streetlight. He stops too, just stands there, maybe 15 feet away, not even pretending to do anything else. My stomach drops, and I'm thinking about every horror story I've ever heard. All those warnings about walking alone at night. I stand up, start walking again, faster now, and he's right back on my tail, his footsteps heavy on the pavement, like he's not even trying to be quiet. Hey, he calls out, and his voice is all rough, like he's been gargling gravel. You got a light? I don't smoke. But even if I did, I'm not stopping to chat. I keep my head down and say, "Not sorry," try to sound calm, but my voice is all wobbly, and I hate it. He doesn't stop walking. "Come on, don't be like that," he says, and now he's closer, maybe 10 feet back, and his tone's different. Not friendly, more like he's pissed I'm not playing along. "I just want to talk," he adds, and I'm like, yeah, right, nobody's out here at 1 a.m. just wanting to talk. I'm freaking out now. My heart's pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. I'm scanning the street for anywhere I can go, a gas station, a 24-hour diner, anything, but it's all dark storefronts and empty lots. My phone's got a signal, but calling 911 feels like it'll take too long. And what if he hears me? I'm gripping my keys so tight they're cutting into my hand, and I'm thinking maybe I can jab him in the face if he tries something. Then he says, "I know you, don't I? You're always at that bar, right?" And that's when I nearly lose it. How the hell does he know where I hang out? I'm racking my brain trying to place him, but I got nothing. I go to that bar maybe once a week, but it's not like I'm a regular who stands out. Has he been watching me? For how long? My mind's spinning, picturing this guy lurking in the shadows every time I'm out, keeping tabs on me. I'm like, you got the wrong person, and I'm walking so fast now it's practically a jog, but he's keeping up, his steps louder, closer. "Nah, I don't think so," he says, and he laughs, this low, nasty sound that makes my skin crawl. I see my street up ahead, maybe 3 blocks away, but I'm not about to lead this creep straight to my apartment. I spot an alley to my left, not ideal, but it cuts through to a busier road where there might be cars or people. I make a split-second decision and dart into it, hoping he won't follow. Big mistake. The alley's darker than I thought, and halfway through, I hear his footsteps behind me, faster now, like he's done playing games. I'm running full out, my bag bouncing against my hip, my keys still in my fist. I can hear him breathing, heavy and ragged, and he's close, too close. I burst out onto the main road, and thank God, there's a car coming. I wave my arms like a maniac, screaming, "Help!" The car slows down, and it's some older guy, looks confused but rolls down his window. "You okay?" he asks, and I'm like, "No, someone's following me." I glance back, and the creep stopped at the edge of the alley, just standing there, staring. The driver looks where I'm pointing, but the guy's already backing away, melting into the shadows like he was never there. The driver offers to call the cops, but I'm so frazzled I just ask him to drive me the last few blocks home. When I get inside, I lock every door, shove a chair under the knob, and I'm shaking so bad I can't even pour a glass of water without spilling it. I keep replaying what he said. "You're always at that bar, right?" Like, has he been stalking me? Does he know where I live? I didn't sleep that night, just sat on my couch with a kitchen knife, jumping at every creak. The next day, I tell my friends, and they're freaking out, saying I should have called the cops right then. But what do I say? Some guy followed me and said creepy stuff. He didn't touch me, didn't pull a weapon, but I know he was bad news. Since then, I've stopped walking home alone. I'm shelling out for Ubers now, even though it's killing my bank account. I told the bar manager, and he's keeping an eye out for any weird guys, but nobody's seen anyone matching that description. A few nights ago, though, I was leaving work, and I swear I saw that same ratty coat across the street just for a second before it disappeared around a corner. Could have been someone else, but I'm not taking chances. I got a taser now, and I'm always checking my surroundings, but I'm still jumpy as hell. I keep wondering what that guy wanted, why he picked me. Was he just messing with me, or was he planning something worse? The not knowing is the worst part. I used to feel pretty tough, like I could handle anything, but this dude made me feel so damn vulnerable, and I hate it. If anyone's got tips on staying safe or dealing with creeps like this, I'm listening because I'm still scared to walk out my door at night. It was a Wednesday night, like 11 p.m. or so. I work as a forklift driver at this big warehouse that ships car parts. It's a decent gig, pays all right, hours are long but steady. My shift usually ends around 10, but that night I stayed late to help with some inventory crap. The warehouse is huge, all concrete and steel, with these dim overhead lights that make everything look creepy as hell once the sun goes down. Most of the crew had already clocked out, so it was just me and a couple other guys finishing up. My car was parked out back in the employee lot, which is basically a gravel patch surrounded by chain link fence next to some old shipping containers. I'm done for the night, grab my jacket, and head out to my car. The lot's poorly lit, just one flickering street lamp, and it's quiet except for the hum of the highway a couple blocks away. I'm texting my buddy about grabbing a beer later, not really paying attention, when I notice this guy standing by the fence, maybe 50 feet away. He's just there, leaning against a post, smoking a cigarette, wearing a dark hoodie and these baggy cargo pants. I can't see his face too good cause the hood's up, but something about him sets off my radar. Like, nobody just hangs out in a warehouse parking lot at 11 p.m., you know? I keep walking to my car, trying to act normal, but I'm watching him out of the corner of my eye. He flicks his cigarette, and instead of walking away, he starts heading toward me, real casual, hands in his pockets. My stomach does a little flip, but I'm like, chill. Maybe he's just cutting through. I get to my car, unlock it, and that's when he calls out, "Yo, man, you got a spare buck?" His voice is rough, like he's been yelling all day, and it's got this edge that makes me tense up. I ain't dumb. I know better than to pull out my wallet in a dark parking lot for some rando. So I say, "Nah, man, I'm tapped out," and keep my hand on my car door, ready to hop in. He's closer now, maybe 20 feet away, and he's got this weird grin, like he's amused I'm brushing him off. "Come on, bro," he says. "You work here, right? You got cash." That's when I get a bad feeling, cause how does he know I work here? I'm wearing a plain jacket, no company logo, nothing to tip him off. My heart's starting to pound, but I play it cool, shrug, and say, "Sorry, dude, I'm broke." He stops walking, just stands there, maybe 15 feet away, and I can see his eyes now under the hood. They're hard, like he's sizing me up, and that grin ain't friendly. "You don't look broke," he says, and he takes a step closer, pulling one hand out of his pocket. I can't tell if he's got something in it, a knife maybe, or worse, but I'm not waiting to find out. I'm a big guy, 6 feet 2 inches, used to play football in high school, but I ain't looking for a fight in a dark lot with some sketchy dude who's giving off predator vibes. Man, I ain't got nothing for you, I say louder now, hoping maybe someone inside hears me. The other guys are probably still in the warehouse, but it's a big place, and the back door's a good 100 yards away. He laughs, this low, creepy chuckle, and says, "You sure? I seen you around, man. You always got that nice phone out." My blood runs cold, 'cause yeah, I was texting when I walked out, but how long was this guy watching me? Has he been out here before, scoping me out? I work late shifts all the time, and I'm always in this lot. The thought that he's been clocking me makes my skin crawl. I'm done messing around. "Back off, dude," I say, stepping toward my car door, keys in my fist like I'm ready to swing. He doesn't move, just keeps staring, and then he pulls something out of his pocket. It's not a gun, thank God, but it's a box cutter, the kind we use in the warehouse. The blade's out, catching the light, and he's holding it loose, like he's ready to use it, but not in a hurry. "Don't gotta be like that," he says, still grinning. "Just give me what you got, and we're cool." Now I'm freaking out, but I'm trying to stay calm, because I know panicking's gonna make this worse. I'm thinking about my options: run back to the warehouse, try to get in my car, or stand my ground. Running's risky. He's close enough to catch me before I hit the door. Car's my best bet, but he's standing between me and the driver's side. I decide to talk, keep him distracted. "Look, man, I ain't got cash. You want my phone? It's a piece of junk, but take it." I hold it up, not too close, hoping maybe he'll go for it and I can bolt. He tilts his head like he's thinking it over, but he doesn't take the bait. Instead, he steps closer, maybe 10 feet now, and says, "I don't want your phone, man. I know you got more." His voice is all calm, but the box cutter's still out, and I'm picturing every bad ending to this. I'm thinking about my little brother, who I'm supposed to take to a Tigers game this weekend, and how I ain't about to let this creep mess that up. Just then, I hear the warehouse door bang open behind me. One of the other guys, Mike, yells, "Yo, you get out there?" I don't know if he saw us or just heard something, but it's enough to spook the guy. He freezes, looks past me, and then backs off, slipping the box cutter back in his pocket. "We're cool," he says, like nothing happened, and he starts walking away, fast, toward the fence. I don't wait to see where he goes. Just jump in my car, lock the doors, and peel out, nearly clipping a curb in the process. When I get home, I'm a wreck. I lock every door, check every window, and I'm still holding my keys like a weapon. I call Mike, thank him for coming out, and tell him what happened. He's like, "Dude, you should have yelled sooner." I tell my boss the next day, and they're talking about adding more lights to the lot, maybe a security guard, but that don't help me now. I keep thinking about what that guy said. "I seen you around." Like, how long has he been watching me? Was he waiting for me specifically, or was I just unlucky? A week later, I'm pulling into the lot for my shift, and I swear I see that same hoodie by the fence, just for a second before it's gone. Could have been my imagination, but I ain't taking chances. I got a tire iron in my car now, and I'm parking closer to the door. I told my brother about it, and he's freaking out, saying I should quit, but I need this job. I'm jumpy as hell, always checking my mirrors, wondering if that creep's still out there, waiting for another shot. If anyone's got advice on dealing with guys like this, I'm all ears, 'cause I'm still shook, and I don't know if I'll ever feel safe in that damn lot again. It was a Saturday, early October, perfect weather for a hike, cool, crisp, leaves all turning red and gold. I'm a mechanic, work long hours at a garage, so weekends are my time to clear my head. I decided to hit this trail in the Blue Ridge Mountains, maybe an hour from town. It's not a super popular spot, kinda off the beaten path, but I like it 'cause it's quiet, just me in the woods. I packed a backpack, water, snacks, knife, 'cause you never know, and headed out around 7 a.m. to beat the crowds. Plan was to hike up to this ridge with a killer view, maybe 6 miles round trip, and be back by noon. The trail's steep but manageable, winding through pines and rocky outcrops. I'm about halfway up, maybe an hour in, when I notice this guy ahead of me. He's standing off the trail, just past a bend, leaning against a tree, staring out into the woods. He's older, maybe 40s, wiry, wearing a faded camo jacket and a baseball cap pulled low. He's got a big hunting pack, the kind with straps for a rifle, but I don't see a gun. Something about him feels off, like he's too still, too focused on nothing. I figure he's just another hiker, maybe taking a breather, so I nod as I pass and say, "Morning," trying to be friendly. He don't say nothing back, just turns his head slow and stares at me. His eyes are cold, man, like he's looking through me, not at me. My gut's telling me something ain't right, but I shake it off, keep hiking. I'm used to weirdos in the woods, hunters, drifters, whatever, so I don't think much of it at first. But about 10 minutes later, I glance back and he's there, maybe 50 yards behind me, walking the trail now. He's not rushing, just keeping pace, head down like he's tracking something. My heart picks up a bit, but I tell myself I'm being paranoid. I keep going, pushing harder to put some distance between us, but every time I check, he's still there, same distance, like he's matching my speed. The trail's narrow here, no other hikers around, and it's just trees and rocks as far as I can see. I'm starting to get that sick feeling, like this dude's not just out for a stroll. I remember this news story from a few months back. Some hiker went missing on a trail not far from here, never found, and there were rumors about a guy spotted in the area, some drifter type. My brain's going there now, and I'm wishing I'd told someone exactly where I was hiking. I hit a fork in the trail, one path leading up to the ridge, the other looping down to a creek. I decide to test him, take the creek path, see if he follows. Sure enough, he does. Now I'm freaking out inside, but I'm trying to stay cool, cause I know panicking ain't gonna help. I stop at the creek, pretend to check my map, and he stops too, maybe 30 yards back, just standing there watching. He's got one hand in his pocket now, and I'm thinking, what's he got? A knife? A gun? My own knife's in my pack, but I don't want to dig for it and tip him off. "Hey man," I call out, trying to sound chill. "You know this trail good?" Figure maybe if I talk, he'll back off or at least act normal. He don't answer right away, just keeps staring, then says real slow, "Been out here a lot." His voice is gravelly, like he don't talk much, and it's got this edge that makes my skin crawl. "You alone?" he asks, and that's when my stomach drops. Why the hell's he asking that? I laugh, try to play it off, and say, "Nah, I'm meeting some buddies up at the ridge." Total lie, but I'm hoping it'll make him think twice. He don't buy it. He takes a step closer, maybe 20 yards now, and says, "Don't see no buddies." That grin he's got is all wrong, like he's enjoying this, like he knows I'm lying. I'm thinking about that missing hiker, wondering if this is the guy, if he's out here looking for people who won't be missed. I'm a big dude, 6 foot, lift weights, but this guy's got a vibe like he's done bad things and ain't afraid to do more. My heart's hammering, but I'm trying to keep my face neutral. I decide I gotta get out of there. The creek path loops back to the main trail eventually, but it's a long way, and I don't want to be stuck with this creep tailing me. I start walking again, fast, heading back toward the fork. He follows, closer now, maybe 15 yards, and I can hear his boots crunching on the gravel. I'm scanning the woods for anywhere to duck out, maybe lose him, but it's all thick brush and steep drops. My phone's got no signal out here, so calling for help ain't an option. I'm cursing myself for not bringing a buddy, for thinking I could handle anything. Then I hear it, a twig snap, way too close. I spin around, and he's right there, maybe 10 feet away, holding something in his hand. It's not a gun, but it's a hunting knife, blade out, glinting in the sunlight. "Hold up," he says, like he's trying to calm me down, but his eyes are locked on me, and that knife's saying something else. "Just want to talk," he says, but I ain't buying it. My own knife's in my pack, and there's no way I'm getting it out before he's on me. I don't think, just act. I bolt, sprinting back toward the main trail, my pack bouncing, branches smacking my face. He's after me. I can hear his footsteps, heavy and fast, and he's yelling something, but I don't stop to listen. I hit the fork, veer toward the parking lot, praying there's other hikers or a ranger down there. My lungs are burning, but I keep running, dodging rocks, jumping roots. I don't look back till I hit the trailhead, and when I do, he's gone. No footsteps, no nothing, just the woods and my own ragged breathing. I get to my truck, lock the doors, and peel out of there, heart still pounding. When I get home, I'm a mess, sweating, shaking, checking my locks like a paranoid freak. I tell my buddy Jake about it, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta report that." I called the park service, told him about the guy, the knife, everything. They said they'd send a ranger to check it out, but I ain't heard nothing since. I keep thinking about that missing hiker, wondering if I dodged something way worse than a robbery. I ain't been back to that trail since. I'm sticking to crowded spots now, and I got a can of bear spray for my next hike. But I'm still jumpy, man. Every time I'm out, I'm checking behind me, wondering if that guy's still out there, waiting for someone else to wander too far. If anyone's got tips on staying safe in the woods or dealing with creeps like that, I'm listening because I'm still shook and I don't know if I'll ever feel okay hiking alone again. So, this happened maybe a month ago, right around the end of summer. I'm 24, female, living in this smallish town in Ohio, not exactly the middle of nowhere, but not exactly bustling either. It's one of those places where you know most folks by sight, but there's enough strangers passing through that you don't bat an eye at new faces. I was working late at this diner I've been at for a couple years, serving greasy burgers and bad coffee to truckers and locals. My shift ended around 11 p.m., and I was dead tired, just wanted to get home, crack open a beer, and crash on my couch. My car, piece of junk that it is, was running on fumes, so I had to stop at this 24-hour gas station just off the highway. It's one of those brightly lit places with a convenience store attached, but at that hour, it's pretty dead. Just me, the clerk inside, who's probably half asleep, and maybe a stray trucker or two. I pull up to the pump, start filling my tank, and I'm just zoning out scrolling through my phone, not really paying attention. Big mistake, I know, but it was late, and I wasn't thinking straight. That's when I noticed this guy. He's leaning against the side of the gas station, near the air pump, just standing there. Not pumping gas, not buying anything, just watching. He's maybe in his 30s, tall, lanky, wearing a beat-up hoodie and a baseball cap pulled low, so I can't really see his face. Something about him just feels off, like my gut's telling me this dude ain't right. I try to ignore it, keep my eyes on my phone, but I can feel him staring. Like that heavy kind of stare that makes your skin crawl. I finish pumping gas, and I'm about to get back in my car when he starts walking over. Not fast, not slow, just this creepy, deliberate pace. My heart's already picking up, but I'm like, chill. Maybe he's just gonna ask for change or something. He gets closer, and I see his hands are stuffed in his pockets, and he's got this weird half smile, like he knows something I don't. He stops maybe 10 feet away and goes, "Hey, you from around here? I'm not stupid. I know better than to get chatty with some rando at a gas station at midnight." So I just nod, real curt, and say, "Yeah, just heading home." I'm trying to sound confident, but my voice comes out all shaky, which pisses me off. He doesn't move, just keeps standing there, tilting his head like he's sizing me up. "Long night, huh?" he says, and his voice is all low and gravelly, like he's been smoking a pack a day for years. I mumble something like, "Yeah, sure," and start opening my car door, but then he takes a step closer and I freeze. "You shouldn't be out here alone this late," he says, and now that half smile is gone, and his eyes are locked on me. I can see them better now under the gas station lights, and they're empty. Like, no emotion, just cold. My stomach drops, and I'm thinking about all the true crime podcasts I've binged, all those stories about girls who didn't trust their instincts and ended up on a missing poster. I'm not about to be that girl. "I'm good, thanks," I say, and I'm trying to slide into my car, but he takes another step, and now he's close enough that I can smell him, sweat and something sour like cheap beer. He's still got his hands in his pockets, and my brain's screaming that he could have a knife, a gun, anything. I glance at the convenience store, hoping the clerk's watching, but the guy's probably scrolling TikTok or something, because there's no one coming to my rescue. Then he says, "I've seen you before," and that's when my blood goes cold. I've never seen this dude in my life, but the way he says it so casual, like we're old friends, makes me want to puke. I'm like, "Nah, you got the wrong person," and I'm fumbling with my keys, trying to get in the car without turning my back on him. He laughs, this low, creepy chuckle, and goes, "No, I don't think so. You're the diner girl, right? Always working late." Okay, now I'm freaking out. How the hell does he know where I work? I'm racking my brain, trying to remember if I've seen him at the diner, but I come up blank. I mean, I see dozens of people every shift, but this guy, I'd remember him. Those dead eyes would have stuck with me. I'm thinking maybe he's been watching me, like stalking me or something, and that thought makes me want to bolt. But I'm stuck, 'Cause if I run, he's close enough to grab me, and my car's not even started yet. I decide to play it tough. Look, man, I don't know you, and I'm tired. Back off, all right? My voice is louder now, hoping maybe the clerk or someone will hear. He doesn't move, just keeps staring, and then he pulls one hand out of his pocket. No weapon, thank God, but he's holding something, crumpled piece of paper. He holds it out like he expects me to take it. Found this, he says. Thought you might want it. I'm not dumb enough to get closer, so I just shake my head and say, I don't want it. Just leave me alone. But he drops the paper on the ground and steps back like he's daring me to pick it up. I'm not falling for that. I finally get my car door open, slide in, and slam it shut, locking it so fast I nearly drop my keys. He's still standing there, watching me through the window, that creepy half-smile back on his face. I start the car, peel out of the gas station, and I'm shaking so bad I can barely keep my hands on the wheel. I keep checking my rearview mirror, half expecting to see his headlights following me, but the road's empty. When I get home, I lock every door, check every window, and I'm still so paranoid I can't sleep. I'm thinking about that paper he dropped, wondering what the hell was on it. A note? A threat? Some kind of sick trophy? I didn't stick around to find out, but it's haunting me. The next day, I tell my boss at the diner what happened, and she's all concerned, says she'll keep an eye out for any weirdos. I ask around, but none of the other servers remember a guy like that. I even call the gas station, but the clerk's like, yeah, I didn't see nothing. Useless. I'm starting to think I'm paranoid, but then I notice this car, beat-up old sedan, parked across the street from the diner a couple nights later. It's there for hours, just sitting, no one getting in or out. I can't see the driver, but I swear it's him. I stopped going to that gas station, and I'm carrying pepper spray now, but I'm still jumpy as hell. Every time I work a late shift, I'm looking over my shoulder, wondering if he's out there, watching, waiting for me to be alone again. I keep thinking about what he said. I've seen you before. Like, how long has this creep been keeping tabs on me? Was he following me to work? To my house? I don't know, and that's the worst part. Not knowing if he's still out there, waiting for his next chance. I told my mom about it, and she's begging me to quit the diner, but I need the money, you know? I'm just trying to stay sharp, keep my eyes open, and not let my guard down. But man, I'm tired of feeling like prey. If anyone's got advice on dealing with creeps like this, I'm all ears because I'm still rattled, and I don't know if I'll ever feel safe again. This happened back in 2023 when I was 22, and I'm still shook just thinking about it, like I can't even go to the movies now without getting the chills. I'm a girl living in this mid-sized town in Oregon. It was a Friday night, middle of summer, hot as hell outside. I've been working all week at this clothing store in the mall, and I was dying for a break. My friend Sarah and I decided to catch a late showing of this new horror flick at the theater across town. It's one of those big multiplexes, always packed, with sticky floors and overpriced popcorn. We got tickets for the 10:30 p.m. show. Figured we'd have a fun girls' night, scream at some jump scares, and head home. Sarah had to bail last minute, some family drama, so I was like, screw it, I'll go alone. I love movies, and I wasn't going to let a free night go to waste. I get to the theater around 10, grab my ticket, and head inside. The place is busy but not crazy, mostly couples and groups of teens. I'm in my usual jeans and hoodie, nothing flashy, just chilling with my popcorn and soda, waiting for the previews to start. I pick a seat near the back, middle of the row, because I like having a clear view. The theater's maybe half full, lights still on, people trickling in. That's when I notice this guy a few rows ahead, sitting alone. He's maybe in his 30s, skinny, with greasy hair and a weird vibe, wearing a too big jacket despite the heat. He's staring at his phone, but something about him feels off, like he's too aware of everything around him. The lights dim, previews start, and I'm trying to get into the movie mood, but I catch this guy turning around, looking back at me. Not just a glance, but a long, creepy stare, like he's studying me. I shift in my seat, pull my hoodie up, and try to focus on the screen, but my skin's crawling. I tell myself I'm being paranoid. People look around in theaters, right? But then he does it again, and this time he's smiling, this gross, leering smile that makes my stomach twist. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just weird, not dangerous, but my gut's screaming at me to stay alert. About 20 minutes into the movie, I notice he's gone from his seat. I figure he's hitting the bathroom or something, but then I feel someone sit down 2 seats away from me. It's him. The theater's got plenty of empty spots, so why the hell's he right here? I can smell him now, stale sweat and some cheap cologne that makes me want to gag. I keep my eyes on the screen, but I'm hyper aware of him, like every nerve in my body's on edge. He's not watching the movie, he's turned slightly, facing me, and I can feel his stare burning into the side of my face. Then he leans over, close enough that I can hear him breathing, and whispers, "You liking the movie?" His voice is all low and slimy, like he's trying to sound smooth, but it's just wrong. I freeze, not sure what to do. I don't want to engage, but I don't want to piss him off either. "Yeah, it's fine," I mumble, keeping my eyes glued to the screen, hoping he'll back off. He doesn't. "You here alone?" he asks, and that's when my heart starts pounding so hard I'm sure he can hear it. Why is he asking that? What's he planning? I'm thinking about all the true crime shows I've binged, all those stories about creeps picking out girls who look vulnerable. I'm alone in a dark theater, and this guy's giving off every red flag in the book. I say, "Nah, my friends are around," lying through my teeth, hoping it'll make him think twice. He chuckles this creepy, knowing laugh and says, "Don't see no friends." My blood runs cold, 'cause he's calling my bluff, and now I'm wondering how long he was watching me before I even noticed him. I decide I gotta move. I grab my bag and mutter something about getting a refill, heading for the aisle. He doesn't follow, but as I'm walking out, I glance back and he's watching me, that same gross smile on his face. I get to the lobby, heart racing, and tell a ticket guy there's a creep bothering me. He's some bored teenager, barely looks up from his phone, and says, "Yeah, we'll keep an eye out." Useless. I think about leaving, but I paid $15 for the ticket, and I'm pissed that this jerk's ruining my night. I go to the bathroom, splash water on my face, try to calm down. I'm texting Sarah, telling her what's happening, and she's like, "Get out of there." But I'm stubborn, so I decide to go back in, just sit somewhere else closer to people. I pick a spot near a group of loud teens, figuring safety in numbers. The movie's still going, but I'm barely watching, just scanning the theater for that guy. I don't see him, and for a minute, I think maybe he left. Then I feel it, someone's behind me. I turn, and there he is, sitting 1 row back, staring right at me. How the hell did he get there without me noticing? Now I'm freaking out. I grab my stuff and bolt for the exit, not even caring about the movie anymore. As I'm leaving, he calls out, "See you later, sweetheart," loud enough that a few people turn, but nobody does anything. I'm practically running through the lobby, out to the parking lot. It's late, the lot's half empty, and I'm parked way in the back because I got there late. I'm fumbling with my keys, checking over my shoulder, expecting him to be right behind me. I get to my car, lock the doors, and peel out, heart still pounding. When I get home, I'm a mess, shaking, checking my locks, keeping the lights on. I keep replaying that guy's voice, his creepy smile, the way he kept finding me in the theater. Was he following me before I even got there? Does he know where I live? I told Sarah everything, and she's begging me to report it. But what do I say? Some guy creeped me out at the movies. He didn't touch me, didn't threaten me outright, but I know he was up to something sick. This happened back in 2005 when I was 12, and man, I'm still kind of messed up just thinking about it, even all these years later. It was late fall, November, cold as hell, with the ground all crunchy from frost. Dad decided we'd go hunting in this big stretch of forest about an hour's drive from home. It's this dense, old woods, pines, cedars, real thick underbrush. Not a place tourists go, just locals who know the trails. We were after deer, maybe an elk if we got lucky. I was stoked because I've been practicing with my .22, and Dad said I could take a shot if we spotted something. We got up before dawn, loaded the truck with our gear. Rifles, knives, a thermos of coffee for him, hot cocoa for me, and headed out. We get to the trailhead around 6 a.m., sky still dark, just a hint of gray on the horizon. Dad's all business, checking the map, showing me how to read the wind so the deer don't smell us. We hike in maybe 2 miles deep into the woods, where it's so quiet you can hear your own heartbeat. We set up in this little clearing, tucked behind some rocks, waiting for first light when the deer start moving. I'm shivering, partly from the cold, partly from excitement, clutching my rifle like it's my lifeline. Dad's scanning the trees with his binoculars, whispering stuff like, "Keep low, don't make noise." About an hour in, sun's just starting to creep up, and we're still waiting. No deer yet. That's when I hear it rustle real faint, maybe 50 yards off in the brush. I figure it's an animal, maybe a buck, so I nudge Dad, but he's already heard it. He puts a finger to his lips, motions for me to stay put, and raises his rifle, scoping the area. The rustling stops, then starts again, closer now, maybe 30 yards. It's not like a deer's careful steps, more like something heavy, dragging, uneven. My heart's pounding, but I'm thinking maybe it's a bear or a moose, something big. Dad's face changes, though. He's not excited like when we spot game. He's tense, eyes narrow, gripping his rifle tighter. "Stay still," he whispers, barely audible, and I can tell he's spooked, which freaks me out cause Dad don't spook easy. He's hunted these woods his whole life, seen everything from coyotes to mountain lions, but this is different. The rustling gets louder, closer, maybe 20 yards now, and I catch a glimpse of something moving through the trees. It's big, taller than a deer, but it's not clear, kinda hunched, blending with the shadows. I can't make out details, just this dark, blurry shape that don't look right. "Dad, what is that?" I whisper, my voice shaking. He don't answer, just keeps his rifle up, tracking it. The thing stops, like it knows we're there, and for a second, it's dead quiet. No birds, no wind, just this heavy silence that makes my skin crawl. Then it moves again, faster, circling around us, staying just out of clear sight. I'm gripping my .22 so hard my knuckles hurt, but I'm too scared to raise it. Dad hisses, "Don't move," and I can't hear the edge in his voice like he's trying to keep it together for me. The thing's maybe 15 yards away now, still in the shadows, and I swear I see eyes reflective like a cat's, catching the early light. But they're too high off the ground for a coyote or anything normal, and the way it moves, it's not like any animal I know. It's not charging, not running, just stalking, like it's sizing us up. I'm thinking about all the stories I heard as a kid. Bear attacks, crazy hermits living in the woods, but this don't feel like either. It feels wrong, like something that don't belong out here. Dad finally speaks loud, like he's trying to scare it off. Get out of here." His voice echoes, but the thing don't bolt like a deer would. It stops again, and I hear this low, guttural sound, not quite a growl, more like a huff, heavy and deliberate. My stomach drops, and I'm thinking, what the hell is this? Is it a person? Some kind of freak in the woods? But it's too big, too weird, and I can't shake the feeling it's dangerous, like it's waiting for us to make a wrong move. Dad grabs my arm, pulls me back slow, toward the rocks. "We're leaving," he says, voice low but firm. I'm scared to turn my back, but he's already moving, keeping his rifle aimed at where we last saw the thing. We start backing down the trail, and the rustling follows, keeping pace, always just out of sight. I'm tripping over roots, my heart's hammering, and I keep expecting something to lunge at us. Dad's muttering under his breath, stuff like, "Stay calm, don't run," but I can tell he's freaked too. We're maybe a mile from the truck when a rustling stops. Just gone. No sound, no movement, nothing. Dad don't relax, though. He keeps us moving fast till we hit the trailhead. We pile into the truck, lock the doors, and he peels out like we're being chased. I'm shaking, still clutching my rifle, and I finally ask, "Dad, what was that?" He don't answer right away, just stares at the road, hands tight on the wheel. "Dunno," he says finally. "But we ain't going back there. When we get home, I'm a mess. Can't eat, can't sleep, keep seeing those eyes in my head." Dad don't talk about it much, just says we must have spooked something big, maybe a bear with mange or something. But I know he don't believe that, not really. I told my best friend, Mike, and he's like, "Dude, probably some crazy guy living out there. That's worse, if you ask me. Some weirdo stalking hunters in the woods. Maybe armed, maybe worse." I keep thinking about those missing hiker stories, wondering if that thing was human or not. This happened back in 2019 when I was 24. I was moonlighting at this auto shop, mostly fixing beat-up cars for cheap. My boss, Tony, sent me to this junkyard on the edge of town to pull a transmission for a customer's old Chevy. The place is huge, acres of rusted cars, tires, and scrap metal, all fenced in with barbed wire and a half-broken gate. It's the kind of spot where you feel like you're being watched, even if nobody's around. I've been there before, no big deal, so I roll up around 3 p.m. in my truck, toolbox in the back, ready to get in and out. The guy who runs the yard, old man named Hank, hands me a clipboard to sign in, says, "Take what you need, just don't break nothing," and goes back to his office, shack to nap or whatever. I'm weaving through rows of wrecked cars, looking for a Chevy that matches the one we're fixing. The sun's beating down, and it's quiet except for the occasional crow or clank of metal in the wind. I find a car, pop the hood, and start wrenching, focused on getting the transmission out quick so I can get back to the shop. About 20 minutes in, I hear footsteps crunching on the gravel behind me. I figure it's Hank checking on me, so I don't look up, just keep working. But the footsteps stop, maybe 30 feet away, and I don't hear nothing else. No voice, no greeting, just silence. That's when my gut starts tingling, like something ain't right. I glance over my shoulder, and there's this dude standing between two cars, just watching me. He's maybe in his 30s, skinny, with a scruffy beard and a dirty flannel shirt. He's got a duffel bag slung over his shoulder, and his hands are stuffed in his pockets, but it's the way he's standing. Too still, too focused. That gives me the creeps. I nod at him, trying to play it cool, and say, "Yo, you looking for something?" He don't answer, just keeps staring, his eyes all narrow like he's trying to figure me out. I'm thinking, maybe he's another scrapper, but why is he just standing there? I go back to my work, but I'm keeping my ears open now, listening for any movement. A minute later, I hear those footsteps again, closer this time, maybe 20 feet. I turn around, and he's moved up, standing by a rusted van, still watching, still not saying nothing. My heart's starting to pick up, 'cause this ain't normal. Junkyards get weirdos sometimes. Guys looking to steal parts or copper, but this dude's vibe is different, like he's not here for scrap. I grab my wrench tighter, not 'cause I'm planning to swing, but just in case, and call out, "Man, you need something, or what?" He finally speaks, voice all low and scratchy. "What you got there?" He nods at the transmission I'm pulling, but his eyes are on me, not the car. I'm like, "Just doing my job, man. You work here." He shakes his head slow, and that creepy stare don't let up. "Nah, just looking around," he says, but he's not looking at the cars. He's locked on me, and now he's inching closer, maybe 15 feet away. My stomach's twisting, 'cause I'm out here alone. Hank's probably snoring in his shack, and my truck's a good 50 yards off. I'm trying to keep it together, but my mind's racing, thinking about stories I heard. Guys getting jumped in places like this, robbed, or worse. There was this thing on the news a while back about some dude attacking scrappers at a yard a few towns over. Left one guy beat up bad. I'm wondering if this is that kind of guy, sizing me up for an easy mark. I stand up, wrench in hand, and say, "Look, man, I'm just trying to work. Why don't you head out?" I'm hoping he'll take the hint, but he don't. He steps closer, maybe 10 feet now, and pulls one hand out of his pocket. He's holding something. Looks like a screwdriver, sharp end glinting in the sun. "Nice truck you got," he says, nodding toward where I parked. "Bet you got some good tools in there." My blood runs cold, 'cause now I know he's been watching me since I pulled up. How long was he out here, scoping me out? I'm a decent-sized guy, 5 feet 11 inches, been in a few fights, but this dude's gotta look like he's done worse than throw punches. I'm thinking about my toolbox in the truck bed, hundreds of bucks worth of gear, and wondering if that's what he's after, or if it's something worse. I decide to stand my ground, 'cause running might set him off. "Man, you don't want trouble," I say loud, hoping maybe Hank hears something. "I ain't got nothing worth taking." He laughs, this dry, ugly sound, and says, "Everybody's got something." He's closer now, maybe 8 feet, screwdriver still in his hand, and I'm gripping my wrench like it's a damn lightsaber. I'm thinking about how far I am from the gate, if I can make a break for it. But the rows of cars are like a maze, and he's blocking the easiest path out. Then I hear a car engine in the distance, coming from the direction of the gate. It's another scrapper pulling in, some guy in a beat-up sedan. The dude with the screwdriver freezes, looks toward the sound, and I see my chance. I yell, "Yo, Hank, you out there?" Even though I know Hank's probably still in his shack. The creep hesitates, then backs off, slipping the screwdriver into his pocket. "We're cool," he says like he wasn't just about to jump me, and starts walking away, fast, toward the back of the yard where the fence has a gap. I don't wait to see where he goes. I grab my tools, half the transmission still in the car, and book it to my truck. The other scrapper's unloading his gear, oblivious as I peel out, heart pounding like a drum. When I get back to the shop, I tell Tony what happened, and he's like, "Damn kid, you should have called the cops." I called Hank later, told him about the guy, but he's all, "Ain't seen nobody like that." Figures. I keep thinking about that dude's eyes, the way he said, "Everybody's got something," like he was looking for more than just tools. I ain't been back to that junkyard since. Tony sends someone else now, but I'm still jumpy, always checking my mirrors when I'm out on a job. A week later, I heard from a buddy that some guy got robbed at another yard nearby, beat up pretty bad. No description, but I'm wondering if it was the same creep. If anyone's got tips on staying safe in sketchy spots like that, I'm listening because I'm still freaked and I don't know if I'll ever feel okay working alone again. I'm 27, living in this quiet suburb outside Seattle, and I'm big into running to clear my head. I go out most nights around 9 p.m., looping through my neighborhood, which is all tree-lined streets and cozy houses. I've been doing these night runs for months, same 5-mile route, no issues. I'd see the same folks, dog walkers, other joggers, maybe a car or two. One night in August, I'm about halfway through my run, music low in my earbuds, when I notice this guy walking on the sidewalk across the street. He's tall, wearing a dark hoodie, hands in his pockets. Nothing too weird, but he's keeping pace with me, not passing or falling back, just matching my speed. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just heading somewhere, no big deal. But my gut's tingling, so I speed up a bit. He does too. Now I'm uneasy. I take a turn down a quieter street, hoping to lose him, but when I glance back, he's crossed the road and is behind me, maybe 50 feet back. My heart's starting to pound, but I tell myself I'm overreacting. I pull out one earbud to listen better and keep going, picking up my pace. His footsteps are steady, not rushed, but definitely following. I'm thinking about Dad's warnings, wishing I'd listened. I cut through a park, thinking I'll lose him in the open space, but he's still there, closer now, maybe 30 feet. I can't see his face cause of the hoodie, but he's got this weird, hunched walk like he's trying not to stand out. I'm freaking out now, so I pull out my phone and call my roommate Sarah, whispering, "There's a guy following me, I'm scared." She's like, "Where you at?" "I'm coming to get you." I tell her I'm near the park, and she says she's grabbing her keys. I keep jogging, trying to stay calm, but the guy's still behind me, and now he's whistling real low like he's taunting me. I'm gripping my alarm, ready to pull it if he gets closer. I turn onto a busier street with some late-night dog walkers, hoping he'll back off. He slows down but doesn't stop, just lingers at the edge of the park, watching. Sarah pulls up in her car 10 minutes later, and I sprint to her, practically diving in. I tell her everything, pointing out the guy who's still standing there, not moving. She's like, "Let's call the cops," but I'm so shaken I just want to get home. We drive off, and I'm checking the rear view, half expecting him to follow. He doesn't, but I'm a mess, crying, telling Sarah I should have listened to Dad. She stays up with me all night, and we report it to the police the next day. They say they'll patrol the area, but without a clear description, there's not much they can do. For weeks, I stopped running at night, sticking to the gym treadmill. But one evening, I'm walking to my car after work, and I see him again. Or at least, I think it's him. Same hoodie, same hunched walk, standing across the parking lot, just staring. I freeze, call Sarah, and she tells me to get in my car and lock it. I do, heart racing, and he starts walking toward me, slow but deliberate. I start the car and peel out, nearly clipping a curb. I didn't see him follow, but I took the long way home, checking my mirrors like a paranoid freak. I moved to a new neighborhood a month later, too scared to stay. I heard from a neighbor there'd been some break-ins nearby, guys targeting women alone, but no arrests. I still run, but only in daylight with pepper spray now, not just an alarm. I keep thinking about that guy's whistle. How he followed me so calm, like it was a game. Was he just messing with me, or was he planning something worse? My name's Brad Robertson, and down here in the South, riding horses is still a pretty big deal for a lot of folks. There's all kinds of riding, barrel racing, roping, you name it, but for me, trail riding's always been my thing. It's exactly what it sounds like. You take your horse out on trails winding through the woods, mountains, hills, and hollers, as we call them here in Tennessee. Let me tell you, it gets hotter than the devil's armpit in the summer, so when it's that time of year, we do most of our trail riding at night. Early fall is better, cooler, but in the summer, we wait for the sun to go down. Those night rides? Man, they're always a blast. It's usually just a small group of us, me, my dad, and a couple of buddies, meeting up at the edge of the woods, finding the trailhead, and setting off for a long night of riding through some of the wildest, untouched land the South has to offer. This particular story happened 3 years back in early August. My dad and I met up with our friends JR and Attic around 8 p.m. at a spot the locals call Gilly Hill. It's named that because the trailhead sits right behind a Gilly Hill Church of Christ in its cemetery. Yeah, I know sounds creepy already, but that's been the starting point for this ride as long as I can remember, and it's never been a problem. So, like I said, we set off for a long night of riding, and for everyone but me, a long night of drinking too. I didn't drink because I wasn't old enough yet, so I was the unofficial designated driver, so to speak. I know this might sound risky or even weird to some, but it's just how we do things around here. Gilly Hill's got plenty of well-worn trails in the winter, but in the summer, folks don't ride as much, and the paths get overgrown, making it easy to get turned around or lost. Horses, though, they're smarter than people give them credit for. They've got an incredible sense of direction and can see real well at night. The only catch is to keep their night vision. It's got to stay dark. No bright lights, or they get night blind, as we call it. You can use a dim red light, red bulb, red lens. For some reason, it doesn't mess with their eyes. Other than that, the only light we've got is from the glow sticks we tie to the front and back of our saddles so we can keep track of each other in the dark. Anyway, back to that August night. Hours passed, and nothing out of the ordinary happened as we rode, covering a lot of ground, getting farther and farther from the horse trailers. It was probably around midnight when I spoke up and said I was hungry. I brought some food to cook, hinting I wanted to stop for more than a quick breather. Turns out, I wasn't the only one starving, so we pulled up, and within a few minutes, we had a fire going and hot dogs sizzling. When we stopped for a bit, we always tie the horses to trees in a circle around us and gather in the middle to eat, drink, or whatever. It's a habit, especially at night, for a couple of reasons. First, it lets us relax a bit while keeping an eye on the horses to make sure they don't bolt. Trust me, chasing a horse through the woods at night is no fun. Second, horses are super alert, with ears like radar. Having them circled around us acts like a natural alarm system for any unwanted visitors, human or otherwise. After all, we're out in the middle of nowhere, in the dark, in the woods. So there we were, sitting by the fire, eating, drinking, and carrying on when I got the urge to take a leak. I stood up, walked a few yards past my horse, and that's when I noticed a dim light about 50 or 60 yards away. It wasn't totally weird, but it set my nerves on edge. If someone was out there with a flashlight or headlamp, that meant they were on foot. Who the hell would be wandering this far out, this late, in the middle of the woods? I finished up, stood there for a second, and kept my eyes on the light. Slowly, I realized it was moving toward us, inching closer in a straight, smooth line. That didn't sit right. If it was a person with a flashlight, the light would have been bouncing and shaking as they walked through the brush. A voice cut through the thick summer air behind me, and I damn near jumped out of my boots. I spun around to see my dad walking up beside me. "What are you doing?" "Still pissing? It's been 10 minutes, he said with a chuckle, his words slurring a bit. The peach brandy was clearly doing its job. "No, Dad, yeah, I'm done, but look at that light over there." "Who the hell's out here this late?" I replied. He squinted, peering into the darkness toward the light. He went quiet for a moment before saying, "That's weird. Has it moved at all?" I explained how it was getting closer, but it didn't look right, not like someone walking. He shrugged it off and suggested we put out the fire and get moving, just in case it was a landowner who'd changed their mind about us riding out here. The land belonged to the church, but sometimes they rented out fields to farmers who weren't exactly fans of horse riders or hunters, so we tried to steer clear of them. Easy enough on hundreds of acres. An hour or so later, we stopped again so the drinkers could relieve themselves of all the beer and liquor they'd been knocking back since we started. This time, I stayed on my horse, Zeb. I didn't need to go, and I didn't feel like tying him up just to untie him a minute later. I was sitting there, enjoying a cool breeze that had finally shown up, when Zeb started acting funny. He was breathing heavy, shifting his weight side to side, clearly uneasy. I was trying to calm him down when, out of nowhere, my dad's horse bolted. 1 second he was standing still, the next he was tearing off at a full gallop. My dad, who'd just finished peeing, was holding the reins in one hand and zipping his pants with the other. The sudden jerk yanked him right onto his ass. In that split second, I had a choice. Let the horse go and risk losing a $3,000 animal, knowing I'd have to let my dad ride Zeb while I walked back, or go after it. I hesitated for a moment, then made what was probably the dumbest decision of my life. I took off after the horse. My eyes were watering from the speed as I tried to keep sight of the glow stick swinging on the back of my dad's saddle. I couldn't help but notice the horse was running straight toward where I'd seen that weird light earlier, but I pushed the thought out of my head. I just needed to catch him. I should have let it go, gone back to my dad and the others, and waited for daylight to track the horse down. But I was young, stubborn, and thought I could handle it. By now, I'd lost track of how far Zeb and I had gone from the group. All I could focus on was that bouncing glow stick. I was gaining ground, getting close enough to maybe grab the reins, when the glow stick just vanished. I yanked back on Zeb's reins, and he stopped so fast I thought I'd go flying over his head. Where the hell did the glow stick go? If it had fallen off, I'd have seen it on the ground. I was close to where it disappeared, but there was nothing. I got off Zeb, tied him to a tree, and started kicking through the leaves, looking for the glow stick. Nothing. I grabbed my flashlight from the saddlebag and scanned the area, but it was pointless. All I did was give away my position. I was standing there trying to make sense of it when I saw that light again, about 50 yards away, moving toward me faster now, still in that eerie smooth glide. My stomach started to knot up. I went back to my saddlebags, grabbed my camping hatchet, clipped it to my belt, and pulled out my phone. 9 times out of 10, there's no service out here, but I figured it was worth a shot. To my surprise, I had 1 bar. I called my dad to see if his horse had circled back and to ask him to flash his light so I could find my way back to the group. The phone rang once, and he picked up. "Hello? Dad, what the hell are you doing?" "I'm just down a trail a bit. I can't find your horse." "We'll have to look for him tomorrow," I said. "What?" he replied, sounding confused, like he wasn't sure what to say. I figured it was the booze messing with him, so I spoke slower, clearer. "Dad, I didn't catch your horse. We'll have to try tomorrow." He didn't respond for a minute, then said, "Brad, you're worrying me." "What are you talking about? Catching my horse? I'm sitting on him right now. Why'd you take off like that? Come back. This ain't funny." My blood ran cold. I saw his horse bolt. I chased it for 10 minutes. "Dad, I was chasing him after he ran off. Didn't he circle back or something?" I asked, my voice shaking. He started shouting into the phone, but before I could make sense of it, my phone beeped. Call dropped. No service. Of course. I stood there frozen. I know I saw his horse run off. I'm not crazy. I took a minute to pull myself together, noticing the light I'd been watching hadn't come any closer. I turned Zeb back toward where I thought my dad and the others were, and I saw a light blinking in that direction. Relief started to creep in, until I remembered I never told my dad to flash his light during our call. I stopped Zeb and looked back. The other light was blinking now too, moving toward me. What the hell was happening? My phone vibrated. I pulled it out and saw a text from a number I didn't recognize. "Brad, it's Dad. My phone's in the truck." Horse came back. "Where are you?" My hand shook as I read it again. Sweat dripped down my face. My dad never brought his phone riding. He always left it under the floor mat in his truck, along with his wallet to keep them safe. If that was true, who the hell had I been talking to? Someone who knew I was chasing a horse and asked why I'd run off. Someone who knew what was going on. Maybe someone who'd been watching us. I didn't like this one bit. The land was owned by the church, sure, but it was surrounded by hundreds of acres of nothing but wooded mountains and hills. It's not like this was farmland with people keeping an eye on it. We rarely ran into anyone out here, except maybe the occasional pissed-off hunter poaching on church property. Our horses and drunk riders usually scared off any deer, so hunters weren't fans of us either. I tried to calm down. I had to get back to my dad and the others. Maybe it was paranoia, but I pulled the glow sticks off Zeb and stuffed them in my saddlebags. If someone was following me, I wasn't going to make it easy for them. The blinking lights were still there, one ahead, one behind. I was pretty sure which one was my dad's group, so I used that as my guide. It's not like these woods are just dark. They're so pitch black you can't see past your horse's ears. The only breaks are the occasional clearings where the moonlight sneaks through. Zeb was moving slow, like he was tiptoeing, sensing something was off. Horses are like that. They pick up on your nerves. Zeb was one of the best I'd ever had, well-mannered, calm, but could haul ass when you needed him to. We'd gone a few hundred yards toward the blinking light when it just disappeared. I kept going, hoping it was my dad or one of the others. As we got close to the clearing where we'd stopped earlier, the one where my dad's horse bolted, I started smelling something weird, like mothballs. The closer we got, the stronger it got. I pulled Zeb to a stop just outside the moonlight at the edge of the clearing. Across the way, back in the woods, I saw two big piles, mounds or something, but they were too far from the light to make out. I sat there in silence, trying to figure out what I was looking at, when a branch snapped above me. Something hit the ground with a loud thud 10 feet in front of us. It stood just in the moonlight, barely visible, eye level with Zeb's back. It was lean as a rail, with glowing soft white eyes that flickered like a movie projector, casting a dim light ahead of it. The thing slowly raised its long arms out to the sides, holding something round in its right hand, but I couldn't tell what. Zeb reared up, throwing me off before I could react. I hit the ground hard, my head smacking the dirt, a sharp pain shooting down my spine. Dizzy and panicked, I scrambled to my feet, but the world was spinning. I get up, take a few steps, and fall again. I heard another thud and Zeb's panicked neigh behind me. I didn't know where I was going, just that I had to get away from whatever that thing was. My dad's voice, or something mimicking it, cut through the air, slurred and wrong, like it was underwater. I pushed through the pain, stumbling across the clearing and into the woods, grabbing a small tree to hold myself up. I turned back and my stomach dropped. In the moonlight, I saw the thing holding one of Zeb's legs, dragging his body across the ground. Zeb was thrashing, trying to get free, but it was no use. The thing was too strong, too fast. I puked right there, the pain and horror overwhelming me. I had to move. I turned and ran deeper into the woods, fear pushing me faster than I thought possible with a pain in my back. Eventually, I had to stop, collapsing to my knees. I felt safer, like I'd put some distance between me and that thing. Then I realized I was just feet from those two mounds I'd seen earlier. Dread hit me like a freight train. I crept closer, and my worst fears came true. It was JR and his horse, both torn apart, their heads and necks mangled like they'd been chewed on by something massive. I stumbled back, terrified to check the other mound, but needing to know if it was my dad. Relief washed over me when I saw it was Attic's horse, but there was no sign of Attic or my dad. I stood there, hands on my knees, sucking in humid air, my head spinning with a million thoughts. Where were they? Had they escaped? How far could I make it? What the hell was that thing? My moment of quiet was shattered when that slurred, drowning version of my dad's voice echoed behind me. I pushed through the rest of the night, one agonizing step at a time, my back screaming with every move. The loss of feeling in my left hand wasn't a good sign either. By the time the sun came up, there was still no sign of my dad, Attic, or that creature. It was probably 1 p.m., close to 100 degrees, and I had no clue where I was. Then I passed out. I woke up in a hospital days later, dehydrated and banged up bad. The police were waiting outside my room with questions. Where were JR Attic and my dad? I knew the answer for two of them and had a bad feeling about the third. I lied, said we'd been ambushed by angry hunters, and gave fake descriptions. They'd never believe the truth. I wasn't about to be labeled crazy after all that. My family came in after the police left, thrilled to see me, but worried sick about my dad. I lied to them too, said he died before we got out. It was mostly a lie, but it was easier than the truth. The Gilly Hill Church of Christ minister visited me, and I actually told him what happened. He didn't say a word, just said God bless and left. I spent a week in the hospital, and I still walk with a limp. They never found my dad, JR, or Attic, just their horses' hooves and saddles. There was a long court process, but with no evidence. They couldn't pin anything on me or anyone else. I've scoured the internet for years, trying to figure out what that thing was, but I've come up empty. All I know is I haven't been trail riding since that night, and I don't think I ever will again.